house? Your home was standing in front of?
This was my flood home, and boy, is it a long story.
Tell me about a little bit about the flood survivors for you in this home.
I began rehabbing right away with every intention to come back. I spent 6 months working on my house, along with serving on many volunteer boards, including the school board, and trying to balance all that, plus my teaching job at the college. And 6 months, I got approved for Jumpstart, and then I went into the Jumpstart office and spent 2 hours turning in receipts, and they walked in. Somebody walked by and slapped a poster on my file and said, "Ineligible for funds, house deemed historic." And I said, "What's this all about?" And he says, "Well, you're ineligible. Your house has been deemed historic." And I said, "If you were concerned about historical status, this should have been all done up front when the waters were receding." I said, "There's nothing historical left." I tore off all the siding, all the sheathing on the side, everything, the subfloor, everything, scrubbed everything all the way around. It's the healthiest house down here. And I said, and I have new windows and everything. There's nothing historic. Just go by, take a picture, and send it in. Well, that's not how we work. We have to do a study. There'll be a 30-day study. And that went into 60, and then it went into 90. And whenever I see city staff at meetings, or I call them, they'd never get back to me to tell me what the status is. Well, it turned out my house wasn't historical. It was in a G Avenue historical district. And no one else in this historical district got to see Jumpstart.
You know, we've talked to a lot of neighbors in this area about feeling frustration and how that, do you feel like your frustration with the slow recovery is tied to some of the feeling you feel about the frustration towards the city with the sales tax? Are they
well, their priorities are skewed. I mean, they're moving forward with the hotel and the events project and everything before they even rebuild our central fire station. There are homes down here that the city owns, and they are clearly imminent threats and nuisances, but they're not demoing those. But they're demoing the homes that the flood victims still own. What they did is they have been wanting, they had riverfront development plans before the flood, and they used this flood to be able to gain our properties, to be able to move forward with those riverfront development plans, which is in the city preferred plan, and that's what the city is not being honest with. They're selling this as just flood protection, and it's the city preferred plan, which includes things that they had planned before, like the amphitheater. The city preferred plan even includes a cross-country ski trail. And so what they did with all these homes, the properties that they wanted, 6 months after first they denied people property permits down there where
Yes.
AJ lived. And then I think they realized they were making a mistake, and then they finally allowed people to have permits. They were using their FEMA money that people got up front. FEMA was very fast at getting funds to us and starting to rebuild. Then 6 months later, the city decided to create these zones, the Greenway Zone, which would be bought out by FEMA, and the construction zone, which they claimed where the flood wall would be built. And they ended any kind of funding from Jumpstart or from local option.
They denied it in the first place.
Anything. They did not allow them to have any funds at all to rebuild. And what they did, though, the city hired these environmental crews to come in and deem these homes an imminent threat. After people mucked and gutted, they'd go into these homes, trash them. I have before and after pictures. Just tear apart ceilings in every room. They'd tear off the gutters. They'd rip off siding from all around the house, and they deem it an imminent threat. Once it's deemed an imminent threat, according to FEMA's rules, is that two things happen. First of all, the demolition then is paid for then by FEMA instead of CDBG. So that leaves more CDBG money for their projects. But the biggest key is, once it's deemed an imminent threat, they are allowed to demolish the home without paying the flood victim first. That's why you'll see no signs on vacant lots down here. The flood victims don't have their homes, and yet they still haven't been bought out. You can't back out of a buyout when their home is demolished. So it's been a backdoor eminent domain all the time from the beginning.
tell me a little bit, and now I'm sorry, I'm probably holding you guys up. Were you going to go do some door to door?
We're going to just go up and down a couple streets here and then head back to a couple other streets.
Well,
But AJ's a real informed flood advocate.
Right. Well, wonderful. I will follow you guys